founder of Canyon Star TV. Kelly, I want to welcome you to Backstory Sessions. And I guess my first question is, how did the idea begin that, that maybe we needed a different type of TV option?
Well, sure. Joey Canyon and I have been friends for a very long time, and on a network that I worked on, I had put one of his shows on, and we stayed friends after I left there, and he had always told me that he wanted to start a network, and I said, well, whenever you're ready, I'm happy to do it. Let's do it. And he called me one day and said, look, this is what I want to build. I want to do a network that's family-friendly, that parents don't have to worry about their kids watching. There's not going to be sexual innuendo and curse words, and I really want a clean network. And he said, can we do it? I said, let's do it. And so we did it.
And so did it ever cross your mind, like, okay, maybe there's like a majority of the audience that won't tune into that doesn't want that because we're like inundated with it constantly? Or did you have feedback already from people that we're tired of this and we want something more wholesome?
I think really that's us and people we talk to. I mean, there's so many things on TV these days that are just not appropriate, and even anymore commercials even. Some of the commercials aren't. And we just felt like it would be great to create something that was new, that people just didn't have to worry about that kind of thing. Joey always says that he felt it was his obligation. And I think he says that because, he really he's not too pleased with the way TV is these days, I don't think,
Sure.
I mean, I love the housewife shows. That's my bad addiction. I love those shows. But, it is nice to put something on here that's positive instead of things that are negative all the time.
So you mentioned, like, with the commercials, what is the sponsorship like? Like, have you found a lot of sponsors that also support this type of television that's more family-oriented?
Well, I don't think we've even gotten to that part yet. We're still just trying to add more programming on a daily basis. We have almost 700 shows.
Awesome.
And thousands and thousands and thousands of episodes. But we just haven't done any sponsorship yet. We're definitely looking for network sponsorship, genre sponsorship, show sponsorships. But we haven't gotten to that part of it yet. Right now we're still in the fun of building it and adding things and finding out what's working and what's not working and trying to gain viewers.
Sure. Well, what shows were you influenced by when you were growing up?
Well, that's something fun because we have a lot of new shows. We have a lot of old programming that we added, so we have some old with a lot of new. So we added a lot of classic TV shows. We put on an Andy Griffith show. We have some Dick Tracy, some old Adventures of Superman. But we put on classic comedy stuff, Petticoat Junction, Betty White, the Lucy Show. It's fun finding that old stuff. Some of it's really timeless, We've even added some old classic TV westerns like Bonanza and The Rifleman and The Cisco Kid and some western movies. So we're kind of a little bit, that's about as old as you're going to get on the old, Most everything else is fairly new except for we have one cooking show, which was Justin Wilson that we wanted, and I found the guy, and he actually lives in my hometown that owns the Justin Wilson show, so we put those on. But everything else is really fairly new and up to date.
So as you were going over some of the older shows, it reminds me first of my dad and like things that, he would watch or talk about watching. And I think there's something, I don't know, special or kind of magical even about watching shows as an adult that you watched, when you were young. It's like it's like watching from a whole different perspective. So I really like, watching Petticoat Junction you mentioned, and even The Rifleman. It's just really interesting to see those again.
I think so too. I love it. We even started a kids genre, and so we have Superman. We have got a ton of Looney Tunes. We have Bugs Bunny, Pig, Daffy the Duck. All those great Wile E. Coyote. We all that stuff, and it's really fun when you're able to find something that is. It brings back a lot of memories for you, for sure.
Is it bad that I wanted, Wiley to be successful to get?
I think it's been like that for everybody.
Yeah, can we spin that and then you?
That's true though.
How does the name of Canyon Star TV? Who came up with that, and what's the significance?
Well, Joey Canyon, the founder and owner of the network, his last name is Canyon, and we were just yakking one day trying to come up with names, and we came up with Canyon Television, Canyon. We came up with multiple names, and then Canyon Star TV just kind of sounded great. The logo looked great, and we started putting it together, and it just stuck. It's an easy thing for people to remember.
It is, and it's a very pretty name, I think. Peaceful, just like when you think of Canyon Star. That just it does come off the tongue well, and I really like that. So I was very curious. I thought it might be connected to the last name, at least with the Canyon part, but yeah, it really goes together well. So what was the first shows that you decided to add?
Well, we talked about the Westerns. We found some Westerns, and then I've been building networks for a long time, and I've worked for other people always, and now I don't. So I started reaching out to people I know that had programming that I've worked with throughout the years. And I'm lucky enough that almost every single one of them said yes.
Great.
And most of it are people we know. There have been some word of mouth. For instance, our faith area was interesting because Joey knew some people. He had some faith programming, and they reached out to him once we started doing this, and we added them, and people started reaching out that knew them. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And it's odd things, like music videos. I had a friend here where I live who did a music video, and I thought, I can't even remember the last time I saw a music video on a network.
Exactly.
And so Joey and I started talking. I said, why don't we start a new genre and do music videos? And so far, we've got Sarah B., who's a New Orleans Biloxi girl, Kelly Lang, Marty Stewart, Oak Ridge Boys, Ronnie McDowell, John Conley, Rhonda Vincent. So all these people are sending us their music videos, and that's growing every day. Every day it's growing. Because there is...
Kelly was a guest not too long ago, and Rhonda Vincent we had as well, and amazing music there. And I know Kelly's last video, was very, it was a very beautiful song, but also just watching it from a visual aspect. So I love the fact that you're putting music back on TV.
It's exciting to do that because, really, you can't watch music. You see it, they'll use them on their social media, but there's not MTV anymore or CMT videos. So it's really kind of fun to be able to have that opportunity for people to add their shows there, their songs.
So what's the criteria when you set out to start looking at what you were going to end up putting on? Do you have a checklist of things that I know it needs to be family friendly, it sounds like?
It has to be family friendly. It has to look good. It can't not look good, and as we're adding things, if something comes up and I'm maybe not sure, I send it over to Joe. What do you think about this? And we decide together, which has been really good because we don't have a big corporation telling us what we can and can't do. So, we're picking things that just we think work or family